Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another edition of MJ Everyday, a training based episode for you guys today, addressing the question how to fix muscle imbalances or how to correct muscle imbalances. So a lot of us have experienced this before, especially when we first get into the gym. A lot of newbies to the gym have this issue where a right bicep, for example, might be bigger and stronger than a left bicep, or a right quad might be bigger and stronger than a left quad. Typically, for most of us, our dominant side, the muscles on our dominant side are bigger and stronger than the muscles on our less dominant side. And a lot of people wonder, how do I correct these muscle imbalances? Should I, with my biceps, should I be doing dumbbell curls and do a few more reps on the left-hand side, on the weaker side, to bring that bicep up to the right-hand side? Should I train one arm at a time, for example, and take the arm to failure and just let it be and sort itself out? I have a very interesting take on this situation, and I have a very personal opinion on how to correct muscle imbalances, and this is really what has worked for me over the years as well, guys, is I'm not a fan of purposely changing the way that you train to try and purposely correct muscle imbalances. So take that bicep, for example. I'm not a fan of training your right bicep by itself and then training your left and trying to get a few more reps on your left, or using a different weight on your stronger arm to your weaker arm, or anything along those lines. I'm not a fan of doing that, because I think that what effectively ends up happening is the imbalances get greater. The distance between a stronger, bigger muscle group becomes greater than a weaker, smaller muscle group. And then you also have to consider that if you're taking your weaker muscle group or your weaker side and you're doing more reps, or you're using more or less weight or whatever it may be, but you're training that side more than you're training the stronger side, you have to take into account the detrimental effect that you're going to have on all the support structures on that weaker side. You're talking about your joints, your ligaments, your tendons are getting worked more than your stronger side, and that's going to create an imbalance in its own right that's going to be much more difficult to correct than a muscle imbalance. So I'm not a fan of doing that. What I am a fan of, guys, is training both sides exactly the same, but doing as many isolateral type movements as you possibly can. So let me give you guys an example. We'll use biceps again. We've used it throughout this episode. So let's say that you're going to do a standing bicep curl, and you're going to do that bicep curl with a straight bar. Doing that curl with a straight bar is not an isolateral movement, because your left and right side don't operate independently of each other. Both hands are part of that bar. That bar connects both hands to each other, and if you're trying to move one side more than the other, the bar is going to sway in one direction or the other, and it's going to put you off, and you're not going to be able to complete the exercise. An isolateral version of that movement would to do a standing bicep curl using dumbbells rather than a barbell, because the right and the left side can operate independently of each other, and it's an isolateral type movement. Now, what you want to do when you're doing these isolateral type movements, guys, is when the weaker side fails. So when the weakest bicep in this bicep curl example fails, that's when you stop with the right arm. So you take your body to failure based on when the weakest side of your muscle as part of your muscle imbalance fails, and then that's it. You take that's the end of the exercise, or you might do a drop set or a rest pause or whatever it is, but the determining factor on how far you take that exercise is based on your weaker muscle group. So you're taking the weak muscle group as hard as it can possibly go, and if the strong muscle group can go there and then some, you stop anyway. And what that's going to allow your body to do is it's going to allow your weaker muscle groups to catch up to your stronger muscle groups, and they will naturally. It's going to allow them to catch up without risking the detrimental effects of overworking the supporting structures. And you can apply this principle, guys, you can apply this principle of isolateral exercises and isolateral training to every single muscle group. There's even a lot of machines now that operate isolaterally, a lot of bench pressing machines, a lot of shoulder press machines, a lot of even bicep curl machines, tricep push down machines. You have the left and right side able to operate independently of each other, so that you can take this principle of isolateral training and using it to bring up weaker muscle groups and apply it to every single muscle group. So guys, those are my thoughts. That's my opinion on how to correct muscle imbalances. Don't purposely try and correct them. They'll figure themselves out, but do as many isolateral movements, use as many isolateral machines as you possibly can, and have the determining factor as the weak muscle group that you're trying to bring up into proportion with the strong muscle group. Guys, that's a wrap for today's episode of MJ Everyday. As always, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, turn your post notifications on both on your mobile, your cell phone, and your desktop PC so you don't miss a beat when it comes to the MassiveJoes YouTube channel. Until tomorrow, I'm coming to you from MassiveJoes.com. Stay massive.